Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel, and today what I'm going to be doing is having a little sit down chat with my friend Jess, who's also my housemate.
Hi!
So, like, just a big disclaimer, this is an open conversation and feel free to carry on the positive conversation and positive comments in the bottom. If anyone has any questions, please DM me. If they might be inappropriate, then please put a disclaimer at the beginning and just say this might be triggering or something, just so I know before reading it. So Jess has a couple of questions that she's written down, just so we can start a conversation and keep the conversation going as well, because a lot of people don't know anything about trans people. So I'm here to educate everybody.
I love education.
Also, please self-educate yourself, because that is the most endearing thing to us as trans people, because then you can understand us from an outside perspective, but also our experiences are completely different to each other. So just keep in mind that everyone is different.
And keep it positive.
Keep it positive, exactly. So
okay, let's kick start.
I feel like a big interview.
Right, no pressure. Okay. Just as a disclaimer as well, these are questions that anyone would ask Piercy, not just me. I already know her in depth already, and I love her, but I'm asking them for the sake of the video.
Yeah.
Right, okay. So, when did you first realise you were transgender?
I didn't realise I was transgender until about a year and a half ago, because that's when I realised the labelling of being transgender. I knew I was different from a very young age, so it was just it was a knowing.
Yeah.
That's all I can explain. It was just a knowing of being different. It was a knowing of, not abnormality, but it was just kind of like...
That realisation, you're like, oh.
Yeah, it's like I'm not like other kids. I wouldn't say that, because the thing is that it was very normal to be inside your own head and stuff like that. Yeah. I thought it was normal.
Yeah.
Like, that's the thing, is that I just knew what I knew because I was doing it.
So it was normal to you anyway, wasn't it? Because you were who you were in your own heads, but yeah.
Exactly. It's not like someone else was telling me how to be and I was actively going against that. It was that I was just being me and I didn't know any different. That's
was there
the
anything
difference.
that like maybe around you or like from other people that made you think like, oh okay, I could possibly be trans, or like was that just something you sort of realised yourself?
Yeah, it was definitely a self-discovery, especially in the last couple of years, because
it's so openly talked about as well in the last, like, especially sort of
in the last 5 years,
I would say,
because like I always got I didn't get any representation of trans people apart from Drag Race.
Yeah.
That was like, that's the earliest memory.
Doesn't always have the most positive spin on being transgender.
Exactly.
Either,
and also being trans and being a drag queen are two very different things.
Very different.
You can be both, you can be neither, you can be one and you can be the other.
One of the biggest misconceptions ever, and one of the worst as well.
Exactly.
So how did you feel about it at first in comparison to how you feel now?
I was very strong-minded about it at first, because I was like, I know I'm different.
Yeah.
And the thing is that I already came out as gay when I was like 11, 12.
Yeah.
So I was like, I already knew I was attracted to men, and that's where I think the normality for me came in, because we live in a very heteronormative world.
Yeah.
And in my head, I was effeminate. I was more female than male. So I always thought that this is right. I am me.
Yeah.
Not like knowing at the time about like gender binaries and stuff, but I am me who likes men, and I'm an effeminate person, and I would always kind of project that into games I would play. I would always be the woman, into like, because I have a very vivid imagination, I would always imagine what I would want to wear more than what I would actually be wearing.
Yeah.
So it was definitely I was so strong-minded about it that because I came out to my parents, the first time, as, not as trans, as I want to be a girl, because that was the only way of me expressing it. That's all I knew, was that I want to be a girl.
Do you think maybe your parents knew before you told them that? Or
I think
because I know a lot of people, a lot of parents will be like, yeah, I already kind of knew, but they wait for you to make that step yourself. It's not something you'd ever push someone into.
Yeah, I think my mum knew I was different. Maybe not the labels or anything.
Yeah, yeah.
But like, obviously, I've always been effeminate from day dot.
From a young age, yeah.
My dad, on the other hand, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know, because we've not really had that conversation from what we've had. Like, we've fully accepting everything like that. It's just we haven't had a conversation about what was it like before, because I remember at the time, he wasn't worried, but he was like quite. It shook him up a little bit. Yeah. Because I remember him telling me that he did like lots of research and stuff like that, which was really lovely. Yeah. And like my parents are like from the moment I said that I was gay, they were like, right, this kid is gonna go through some shit. And both of them just kind of worked in my favour, whether I knew it or not at the time. Yeah. A lot of like queer people around me said, oh yeah, their parents didn't let them do this, their parents didn't let them do that. But in hindsight, they realised why. Yeah. Like I did, like I wasn't allowed to wear dresses out the house, I wasn't allowed to wear makeup for a very long time out the house. Yeah. But then I realised that it was to keep me safe more than anything.
Yeah, if anything, it was to protect you, because I think there are a lot of nasty people out there. Exactly. And if they'd seen a little boy at that time in a dress, then you would have...
I would have been ridiculed.
Yeah. And so even though it probably feels like they're not letting... In some way they weren't letting you be yourself and express yourself, it was ultimately to protect you and keep you safe.
Because I was still quite vulnerable in my... because I am... academically the youngest in my class. Yeah. So my brain would be the youngest in my class as well. Mm-hmm. Where how I matured, I see the flip side of it, and I get that it was just annoying. Yeah. That the reason why I couldn't be wholly myself was because of other people. Yeah. That's what annoys me, not because my parents made that decision.
Which is sad.
Which is sad. Very because sad. I've talked to quite a few trans people, and they literally all of them have said, I wish that I came out younger, or I wish that I transitioned younger. Yeah. As much as I say transitioned younger, I mean socially transitioned. Yeah. Because there's a difference between socially transitioning and medically transitioning. And just to get into the panicky of that as we were. So socially transitioning is when you change your appearance to fit the social stereotypes of that chosen gender. So I've socially transitioned and I haven't medically transitioned. So medically transitioning is going hormone therapy and surgically enhancing your body, but that the surgical part of it is slightly bit of both, because depending what you get, so if you get sex reassignment surgery, then it's medically transitioning, and then I think it's if you get facial feminization, that's social, because you're changing the outward perspective. That's what it is that the social transitioning is the outward perspective, and the medical is to change the biological composition of you. I think. I could be wrong. I've not done too much research into it.
How do you deal with people being nasty and disrespectful about who you choose to be? Because I know from seeing it myself, there are some very, very, very disrespectful people and uneducated people out there that are nasty for no reason. So
Yeah.
And I know for a lot of people out there, it would be hard on a daily basis to deal with that. So.
Yeah, it is quite difficult because like sometimes you just.
It's not very nice.
It's not nice.
It doesn't matter
like,
who you are, how strong-minded you are. Being called any name under the sun, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, like I mean, I've had it quite a few times, especially in like recently, where I'm just like, right, okay.
That's what you can say sometimes, isn't it? When you've seen it, not that you should ever see it a lot, but when you've seen it a lot, sometimes you're just like, okay.
Yeah, literally,
whatever.
like I've had to build up so much resilience over the last few years, especially when I was like in my early teens as well, because like me being gay was very like character enabling, like character development. There was a lot of character development around that, because what I had to do was stand up for myself, because as much as everyone else was standing up for me, I could only protect myself. Like they could only do so much. Whereas if I was getting hurt, like 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times a week, it's coming to me, not them.
Yeah.
Like, so I had to build up the resilience, and through self-love and positive vibes.
We love positive vibes.
We do love positive vibes. Through that, I had to really take control of the situation, because that's what you have to do. You have to take control of the situation, then figure out what to do afterwards.
Yeah.
So if someone's like we saw the other week, someone was shouting across the road, like, oh, is that a man? For me, it's not an issue.
Yeah.
Because it can't be an issue, otherwise it's going to be this whole fiasco.
Yeah.
And if it's a whole fiasco, then that's what makes it become a bad environment.
Yeah.
Because if I'm just very lighthearted about it, like I am on my channel, like I am with you guys, it's like, it's just something to not worry about. So how I deal with people like that,
it's just not.
It's just don't
not dealing with it.
Not dealing with it. Like, not in like a kind of like shut it away, as in I take control of the situation. So what I do is I don't respond. I don't react, because that's what they're looking for.
It's a good way to look at it, actually.
Because the thing is that like they only want attention. It is self-serving.
Yeah.
And if I give in to that,
they're getting what they want.
They're getting what
it's
they
like
want.
when your parents would tell you when you were younger, like, oh, if they're bullying you, just ignore them and they'll go away. And 9 times out of 10, they actually do.
Yeah.
So, best advice.
And it's really funny because I was listening to Catherine Ryan's podcast.
Yeah.
Bloody love that woman. And she said that her mum said to her when she was getting bullied, the reason why she was getting bullied was because they wanted to be her.
Yeah.
And that's kind of my mentality of like, I know I'm the baddest bitch here. Like that's how I've had to manipulate my brain.
Yeah.
Because as much as these guys know, I've got anxiety, so like some things can affect me more than others. And so when I'm walking by myself, I have to go, you're the baddest bitch here. You look amazing. Like, let those anxious thoughts let those anxious thoughts carry on. Yeah. But instead of going, oh my god, they're looking at you, oh my god, what, you have to trick your brain into going, okay, I've got no control of this cyclical cycle that is going to go on in my brain. Yeah. So what I do is positive vibes, self-gratification, literally just
get yourself
boom,
through it.
and you literally just skyrocket with confidence.
Yeah, that's good.
Camera angles changed, we went for dinner. That's all.
Whether you felt that people are more accepting of the LGBT community now.
Yes.
And how you've seen that, if that is the case.
Okay, so I think so. I remember what I said.
Acceptance and tolerance.
Acceptance and tolerance, definitely. So I think that acceptance has skyrocketed and so has tolerance. But the difference between tolerance and acceptance is wholeheartedly. Tolerance is
kind of doing it because you have to. I guess. It's like you would now be. The way I see it, obviously I'm not part of the LGBT community in the same way that you are, but the way I see it is people almost like conform to accepting,
Mm.
but that translates as tolerance, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So like,
if you do it for the sake of doing it.
People do it because they're scared of like the hate they're going to get from it, and quite rightly so as well. But it then becomes like a double-edged sword in the sense that you're like, okay, well, are you actually accepting of me, or are you doing it just because you don't want to be the odd one out, so to speak? Which is like, it's a very grey area, I guess. But
I'm trying to think of like the word, but it's like unequivocated.
Yeah.
You know, when you talk about love.
Yeah.
What's that word? It's like on something.
Don't know, I've never felt it. Apart from for my hamster.
It's like regardless of whatever's going on.
Oh, right, yeah.
It's there.
Yeah. I know what you mean.
Yeah.
I know what you mean. But I can't think of the word either.
Yeah. So it's like that. It's like where it's all the love, all the support. That is acceptance, and tolerance is just doing it to make...
Almost make their lives easier.
Yeah.
I guess. Which is not right.
Yeah,
but
like...
I feel like a lot of people, older generations, are maybe on that tolerance level.
Yeah.
Because...
it's fine.
Yeah.
And that's about it.
There's no, like, support network or nothing there, do you know what I mean? Which is hopefully something that will change in coming generations, but you never know.
Yeah.
The next question I wrote was, what's the most inappropriate thing anyone's ever asked you regarding being transgender?
How long have we got? No, I've been asked so many things because, like, especially while dating.
Yeah.
Like, dating is the one thing that, like...
there's a fine line when dating with anybody as to how far you can cross that boundary and push that line. So.
And that's the thing, is that I've had to learn quite recently, in the last, like, year, basically, how I can have those boundaries while also understanding where they're coming from.
Yeah.
So it's like, I very quickly have to judge how they're asking the question, why they're asking the question. Yeah. So, for example, on Tinder, it could be, they could be looking for either just a hookup or a long-term relationship. I have to figure that out before they start asking the questions.
Yeah.
But if I don't, then I just have to roll with the punches.
Yeah.
So...
I think what shocks me from seeing some of the things that people say to you on Tinder is for straight up, like, asking you what you have down there, which I find, I've said to you in the past, I find weird anyway, regardless of what your gender is or who you are. You don't ask anyone what they've got down there. Like, it's
because
just not...
we're different that they want to find out, because they don't know, because it could be
I just find that
anything.
A very personal question for anyone.
Yeah.
So
that
why
is
would you say
probably
that?
one of the most...
especially before you even say hello.
I know.
Do you know what I mean?
The amount of times that I get literally like first, second, third message is, you know, are you pre or post op? A much more appropriate way of asking the question.
Yeah.
Yes, it could offend some people who, you know, have strong opinions about that.
Or also people that aren't interested in having the surgery.
Yeah,
anything
exactly.
At all, like.
And also, the surgery, it's not just one surgery.
I know, yeah.
Like, there's one, I mean, for trans women, I think, there's only one surgery you can have.
Yeah.
In relation to bottom surgery, anyway.
Yeah.
But with trans men, I think there's 2 or 3. I can't really remember. But, like, it's like, I've had quite a lot, like, when you get the surgery, like...
That's also a very weird question as well. Because what is it to them?
What is it to you?
Like it's about how you would feel. And it's your body. And you should be able to do what you want to do with it. And that shouldn't matter to them. Do you know what I mean? So, and to ask, not only are you having it, or are you thinking about it, but asking when.
I know.
It's very weird.
Yeah, I'm just going to pop over to the hospital next week and just, you know,
because
just
it
get
almost
my dick
sounds like
chopped
when
off.
someone says that, like, they'll be like, oh, okay, you get that, and then I'll get back to you.
Exactly.
Which
That's
is not
what
okay, which is weird to me. So...
it's borderline disgusting, because it's like, it is kind of reactionary, whereas, okay, You go get that done, then I will love you.
Yeah, that's...
And it's like, no.
This shouldn't be conditional.
That's
like, do you know what
unconditional.
I mean?
That was the word from earlier. Unconditional love.
If you're on Tinder and you've matched me, then you're already accepting that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, regardless, it shouldn't be...
But that's the thing, if they read my bio. That's another thing.
Some people don't even read bios, do they?
It infuriates me because it is the top line of my bio.
Yeah.
I make a pissing joke out of it because what
is your Tinder bio?
My Tinder... Wait. So my Tinder bio currently is... because I'm very open about it, and like I said earlier in the video, like, it's just a massive joke. Like, get over yourself. Nothing's... It's not a big deal to me, so...
Yeah.
And it's affecting me.
Why have you got Ed Sheeran as one of your songs?
Because I like Ed Sheeran! So, my Tinder bio is, I'm not like other girls. I'm transgender. No joke, still got a dick. Are you hungry? I have sausage and cake.
Oh my god.
Because it's just a joke.
What, at least you're honest.
I know, like,
I like the fact you make a joke out of it.
As much as... Because I am so comfortable with myself that it doesn't matter. Yeah. Like, I do not care. But for some people, it is such an issue, which is understandable, because it could have detriment to them, it could have detriment to the family, like, whatever the situation is. Why would you attack me for your point of view? Like...
Yeah.
Madness. Like, I completely get if someone finds me physically attractive, then matches me, then reads my bio and is like, oh, she's trans, no thank you. Like, that's completely up to them.
Yeah.
Because...
That's what I was going to say, is that, like, it winds me up as your friend when people match you, having read your bio, or like you said, they then haven't read it, they then read it and then they realise you're trans. It's the reaction when they find out you're trans, because before they find out you're trans, it's like, oh, she's a really attractive girl, and then finding out you're trans, like, changes that for some people, which is understandable for some people.
Yeah.
Some people, you know, they're not here for it, that's okay.
Yeah, that's them. That's nothing to do with me. Yeah, exactly.
That's them, that's their preference, whatever. But it's for people that react in a way that's like, oh, well, you're not really a girl, are you? Like, some of the things people say,
you're a man.
Just turn around and say, actually, like, I just read it, and, you know, you're an attractive girl, but I'm not here for that, and like, but don't take offence to it. Like, why not say that instead of saying, like, whatever they're saying
being mean about it. Like, it's not your...
To feed their ego.
Exactly.
That's what it's doing.
That's all it's doing, because the thing is that I've had so much, and I know the question was like, what's the worst thing? I don't think there is a worst thing. It's just
all of it's bad.
Constant little things.
Yeah.
Because it's not like, oh yeah, you're a man. I could find that horrendously offensive, or I could find that not offensive at all. Like, I'm like, lol, I don't care.
Yeah.
I don't care what you think. Like, that's the difference. It's all subjective, where whatever you say, I could take left or right, forward or backwards.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't matter. But for me, the worst thing is it's not what they say, it's how they say it and the way they act around it.
Yeah.
Because the thing is that, like, you could say whatever, but if I've been talking to you for 2 days, well, not 2 days, but like a couple of hours, then you read it, it's just a bit, you know, a bit of a kick in the teeth if then you're an arsehole about it.
Yeah, because they could be being nice because they're like, oh, this girl's really attractive, and then they find out that you're transgender, and then instead of again turning around and just being like, actually, I've just read your bio, like, you're a really nice girl, but I'm not into it, they're mean, and that's a bit I don't understand, is like, why not just be like, okay, you're a nice girl, but I'm going to leave this here, like...
Exactly.
Why not just say
like,
that?
The thing is that I completely understand when people, like, mid-conversation block me because they read my bio, because they're scared of addressing it. Because that, like, for me, the thing is, the worst thing you can do is be an arsehole about it.
Yeah.
The best thing you can do is be nice about it and just be upfront and just be, look, I'm not comfortable with this.
Yeah.
I'm not interested because you're trans. Like, that's not offensive. that's because that's on your back as well.
Yeah.
That's nothing to do with me.
No.
That's
just them.
That's just them. The thing is that I could say that about anyone.
Yeah.
I could say that about people with brown hair. Be like, yeah, sorry.
But I prefer blondes.
But I prefer blondes,
Yeah.
exactly. It's the same thing. It may come across as derogatory for some people, but like, the thing is, the kind of like baseline is, if you're not attracted to them, you're not attracted to them.
Yeah.
Because you have to be attracted to all of them.
Yeah.
And if you're not attracted to all of them, then what's the bloody point?
Yeah. No, yeah. Very true.
Thank you for watching. Keep up with me and my journey on Instagram, and they will be on the screen now. And so will Jess's as well. I want to say a big thank you to you for coming on my channel.
Even though I live upstairs.
You do.
I have to walk.
All COVID safe, don't worry.
We do live together.
We are in the same social bubble. Oh, literally, I'm going to look back at this and be like, coronavirus.
Memories.
Love that.
Bye,
Thank you for watching,
everyone.
and bye.
Cool.
Sick. That's done. Gonna edit that in like a month.